Welcome to Video17, where we'll look at how to use external storage for recordings on your Yeastar S-Series phone system. Hi, I'm Darzuk, Senior Trainer, and this is Video17, how to use external storage with your Yeastar S-Series phone system. So we're going to be looking at a couple different types of storage methods. One is the SD card, another one is USB, a third one is a hard drive, and then the fourth one is a Windows computer. So not all of these methods are available on all the S-Series phone systems. For instance, the hard drive is only available in the S300. The SD card is available on the S50, the S100, and the S300. The USB is only the 100 and the 300, and then the Windows external storage is available across all of the model line. So let's jump in and see how this is done. Okay, so this is a Yeastar S300 phone system, and it has all of the different options for recording the audio. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on Settings, and then we're going to go over to General, and we're going to have a look at recording. Now under recording, you can see that there's a storage location here, so we're going to click on that, and it's going to list the different options that we have here. So on the S300, we can use a hard drive, we can use a USB or solid state drive. There's also the option of setting up a network drive to record to your Windows computer, and we'll have a look at that as well. Now, really important, before you add any of these storage methods, your S300 or any of the models of the S series needs to be turned off. So I'm going to turn it off. We're going to first install an SD card, and then we'll come back and see how to configure that. Okay, so this is the Yeastar S300 that we're using. On the back, you can see we have the power on. There's a power switch here, and you do need to make sure this is turned off when you're installing media. We've got the network cable plugged into the LAN jack, and of course console and WAN on either side. There is an SD card slot here, as well as a USB, so we'll be using the USB as well. Now this is my SD card. You can see it's quite small, and what we're going to do is, while the unit is turned off, we simply place it in here, press it in all the way, and it clicks into place. And then, so when it's fully installed, you can't even see it sticking out. So let's jump in and see what the console has to say. Okay, so here we are back in the interface. We've placed the SD card in. You can see here it says error format. So the first thing we need to do is format this card for the format required by the Yeastar S-Series phone system. So we're going to simply go in here and start formatting it. So you can see here it does take a bit of time. We're going to pause the video and then come back when it's finished. Okay, so we're at 97% now. Our next step after this is going to be configuring the card and this card as a storage location. Okay, so format is successful. What you can see here is now we're going to refresh the screen. Back in, recordings, storage location, and you can see here it's now available. So in terms of the different locations, we can go in here and select this solid state drive, or sorry, the SD card as our location. Also for the CDRs, it becomes available for each and every one of these. Let's have a look at the USB and then the hard drive. Okay, so we've inserted a USB drive into here, and then again it says air format. So same thing, we need to go in here and press the format button. It's going to erase everything on the disk to place it in a Yeastar Linux format. So we're going to wait on here. As you can see, this does take a fair bit of time, so we're going to pause the video again. Okay, so we paused the video because of how long it normally takes. It was actually quite a bit faster than the SD card format. So we're going to click OK. And then what we need to do is go back in and refresh the screen. So I'm just going to click on recording and storage locations again. And you can see now that a USB is available, and we can now select that as a destination as well. So the third way of storing recordings and voicemail and logs and CDRs is on the hard drive, and the hard drive is an option that's only available on the S300. So let's hop in and see how that's done. So here we have the Yeastar S300 phone system with the cover off. Now there's 6 screws that are required to take off the cover. The S300 also comes with a hard drive bracket, 2.5 inch, and 5 screws. And so that's going to get placed right in here. So the first thing we want to do is mount it on. Now you can see here the back screw here, and you want the 4 screws at the bottom of here to match up down here. So there is the 4 screws attached. They don't need to be incredibly tight, just snug. Now make sure that the power's off. It's essential that the power's off when you're doing this, and we're simply going to press it up against here and slide it into place. Now there is a screw hole at the back here, and that's to secure the drive, and so we simply go in like that. Now once this is done, we want to put the cover back on and then turn the power on, and then we'll go through formatting and configuring this drive. The hard drive is now recognized by the system. Unlike the other storage types, this one doesn't require it to be configured and formatted, but I recommend that you do that anyways. Now this is going to delete anything that is currently on this hard drive. Okay, so we're successfully formatted. So we're going to have a look in here, and you can see that there's a hard drive choice that's now available that you can select for each of the different storage locations. Okay, we're going to look at the fourth way of recording files off of your Yeastar S series phone system, and that is by using a Windows share. So that is this button here, Add Network Drive. You can see 5 pieces of information are available. This name is a friendly name that you refer to the share as after it's set up. IP address and host name, I generally recommend an IP address, but you can use a host name as well. Share name, it comes from the Windows share you set up, as well as the username and the password here. So let's look at where we get that information. Now I've set up a location on this computer already under my C drive called Yeastar, and there's a folder here I've created called storage, and that's where we're going to save this. So I'm going to go down to properties, right click, and then down to properties, and that brings up the sharing tab. Now this is Windows 8.1, but other versions of Windows are going to be very similar. So I'm going to click share. And now you should create a dedicated user on your Windows computer for this. You don't really want to use an administrator user, or there's a group called Everyone on Windows, and that's available as well. But it opens up access that doesn't need to be opened up, and so it opens up your computer to hacking. It's really not best practice. Create a separate user. I'm going to add this user and choose read write, and then share that. And so you can see I've created a share called DZ-Z50. That's this computer / storage. And so the share name is storage. I'm going to click done, close this, and now we're going to add this network drive. Now I'm going to call this Windows share. Spaces are not allowed, so make sure you don't put spaces in there. I do recommend that you use a IP address, but make sure your Windows computer has a static IP address. That it just rules out any issues with resolving a host name on the network. So I think it's a little bit more stable, but you do need to have a static IP address. Now, as you remember from the folder setup, this is called storage. And now my Access username is the user I created called Yeastar on the Windows computer, and then the password for that user. So we're going to click Save here. Now it says unmounted. I may have typed the password in wrong. Let's try that again. Okay, so you can see here that it's now connected. There's 178 gigs of space available, and now that's available to choose for each one of these locations as well. Another important part of storing files is the auto cleanup. So, of course, if you store files forever, eventually it's going to consume all of your storage and start to fail. So there are some settings that are automatically set up by Yeastar, and these are great. They've made some great choices here. 500,000, 500,000 CDR records. When it reaches that limit, any of the older records will be deleted. There's also a preservation duration, and this is in the number of days. When it says 0, that means there is no limit, but any non-zero value represents the number of days, and any recordings or files older than that date will automatically be removed. So you can do that for the CDRs, voicemail, and one-touch recording, other recording, and the log cleanup. So that was video 17, how to use external storage for recordings with your Yeastar S-Series phone system. In video 18, we'll look at backup and restore with your Yeastar S-Series phone system. Now you'll find video 18 on the Yeastar.com website by going to the training section. Alternatively, you can go to YouTube.com and search for it there. I'm Dar Zook. Thanks for watching.